Welcome home. I'm Dr.Thema, a minister, licensed psychologist, and sacred artist. And this is Homecoming, a podcast to facilitate your journey home to yourself. While I will provide weekly inspiration and mental health tips, this podcast is not the same as personalized therapy. I'm so excited you're on the journey. If you want to request specific topics or to submit a poem for me to read on the podcast, email me at homecomingpodcast@gmail.com. Also, to build our community, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let's begin. Welcome home, co-journers. I'm glad you're here for another episode. And today we're going to talk about gentleness, healing the harshness from the wounds of our past. And connected to this idea of gentleness, we have two poem submissions that I want to share, and both are connected to reparenting. We have an earlier episode on reparenting yourself, and a part of reparenting is showing up with gentleness and compassion. And so our first poem is from Brianna Noel, and it is entitled Lighthouse. Reparenting is not an idle playground. These grounds are filled with swings, slides, monkey bars, wobbly bridges, hopscotch patterns, seesaws, and merry-go-rounds that are explored and played upon until life's graduation. With the gentle guidance of a loving father, I am a committed mother, providing nurture, knowledge, care, and respect to me constantly. And when all I can do is love, I will find the light source to assist in raising, growing, and tending to the development of me and my wings, because this is a nest where I raise strong, able, kind, loving, honest, compassionate me's that will fly in confidence in knowing their way back home by seeking the light. I am nurturing me in private and in public and with honor because I remember who my Creator designed me to be. I did spread these wings and watered these rich roots that are so deep into the earth's core before. Surrounded by rich minerals and terrestrials, I remember who I am, where I come from, and where I am going. 'Tis once again, I am on my way back home. Yes, Brianna, thank you so much for your poem. It really reminds us of it being an ongoing journey as we nurture ourselves and feed ourselves and edify ourselves so that we can soar. What a beautiful piece. And our second piece is from Ashley Wilkerson, and I enjoy so much Ashley's poem and the message that you sent me as well. So thank you for that greeting. And this piece is entitled, I Know. I used to carry guilt like a blanketed bomb until I rebuked the sorrow that consumed my mother. Magic and madness flowed through my matrilineal line, causing wounds of the spirit that needed to be purified. I made a vow to heal so that 7 generations behind me could feel the joy of being a whole Black woman again. My breath will be the wind beneath future brown girl wings, and in this present moment, I am reaping the harvest of self-mastery. I know how to hold my tongue and shadow and speak through consecrated pens. I know how to cradle my inner child. I have built a safe house within. I used to carry broken people like a bouquet of charred leaves until I gave myself permission to release what no longer serves me. I know how to burn an unstable bridge and make a healthy stew from the ash. I am not defined by my trauma or the residue of my past. When I decided to heal, my organs began to play a gorgeous tune. Ankh stars replace my battle scars every time I tell the truth. I know the honor of living good with courage and compassion. I know the power of being quiet until it is time for direct action. Basking in goodness, grace, and glory, I know how to rest and allow myself to bend. I trust the whispers of my heart. I am my own best friend. I am celebrating. I was a baby born in the midst of fire. I won't apologize for my incredible light. I am becoming the hero of my dreams. Inner peace is my birthright. Yes, my goodness. Oh my goodness, Ashley. Thank you so much for your poem, and continue writing to both of you and to all of you who are listening. What a beautiful, beautiful addition to our journey into gentleness on today. And so I invite us all in this sacred moment to take sacred pause and take breath as we think about the life experiences that hardened us over the years, as we think about the valleys, the mountains, the tribulations, the trials, the storms that caused us to put up walls, that caused us to isolate, that caused us to disconnect, that showed up in us as harshness, as vigilance, as warrior. And I wonder if on today you can give yourself permission to lay down your armor, even for a little while. I wonder if on today you can give yourself permission to release the tension in your back, the pit of your stomach. I wonder if on today you can give yourself the freedom to letting the tension in your forehead breathe and release. I wonder if on today you can loosen your jaw, if you can allow yourself to breathe, if you can invite ease into your day, into your bones, into your muscles, into your breath. Stress and trauma can leave us hard and harsh. And even though hardness and harshness may have helped us to survive, we want to not be stuck in survival mode. We do not want to be stuck in warrior mode, in soldier mode, in defensiveness. We want to live full lives, abundant lives. And when I am full and whole and abundant, I can breathe easily. I can have more gentleness in my body, in my mind, in my heart, in my voice, in my spirit, in my laughter. When I come home to myself, I do not have to perpetually fight. I have fight in me. I have a roar in me, but I do not have to live in a constant state of combat. I do not have to constantly scream and yell. I do not have to constantly defend myself against attack. But as I come home to myself, there is breathing room and growing room. There is room for my gentleness. And so I invite you to really create space in your body, in your heart, in your mind, in your spirit, to be gentle with yourself and with others. I wonder if you can reflect on this moment, in this moment, on who you are able to be gentle with and who it is more difficult for you to embrace a gentle soul, a gentle spirit with. Is it hard for you to be gentle with yourself, but you are more gentle with others? Or is it hard for you to be gentle with others even though you have a gentleness for yourself? Let us think about our lives and the ways in which we show up. And if I am constructing my life in such a way where everyone I spend time with, I have to be walled off from, can I make some new decisions about some areas of my life so that there is place for my softness to show up, where there is space and safety for me to be free, to let down my guard? And so how can we cultivate more gentleness? I want you to know that gentleness is strength. Gentleness is not weakness. It is actually built in an inner strength and an inner confidence that when I have clarity about who I am and I am in a safe place, then I do not have to perform. I do not have to fight. I do not have to out-talk anybody else. I do not have to overshadow anybody else when I'm clear. When I'm clear about who I am, I'm settled in my spirit, right? I am at ease, even in the presence of people who think differently than I do, even in the presence of people who don't really recognize who I am and what I carry, but I know who I am and what I carry, and so I can embrace ease. I want you to know that gentleness is not based in fear. Gentleness is based in clarity. And so are you clear enough about who you are that you don't need to always announce it? Are you clear enough about who you are that you don't need to convince everybody else? Are you clear enough, settled enough within your own bones that you know that you know that you know that you know? And so you are not easily moved, not easily provoked, not easily irritated, that people cannot pull your strings. You are not a puppet. You are a person, a living person who is able to set intention, that you are a living, breathing human being with voice, with agency, with choice. And so you are not reactive, that you are not easily pulled or pushed, that people don't make you act out of character or out of the true essence of who you are. And so I invite you to consider as a daily practice the phrase I have often used here, which is sacred pause. When I am reactive, when I am thoughtless, then I am often operating from my triggers. And when I am triggered based on my past, then everything is a threat and everyone is a threat. And so I have to take everybody down, right? I have to consume all of the energy in the room. I have to be the center. I have to at all times know that people see me and people hear me perpetually, because I am stuck in the trigger, in the response, in being reactive. But when I am able to take sacred pause, that just because others are doing what they're doing or saying what they're saying does not mean that I have to unleash my inner warrior at all times. And so when you are going throughout your day, I invite you to take a slower pace, to give yourself permission to pause before you respond. to give yourself permission for sacred pause, to check in with your spirit, to see what aligns in this moment in the ways in which you choose to show up. And the way you show up is a choice. It is a choice. Despite the circumstance or the environment, I still get to choose my response. And so for us to be mindful of the gift of self-control, that I am mindful of my own power and strength, and I make the decision to cut the strings so that I will no longer be a puppet to the triggers of my past. It is also important, if I want to move from harshness to gentleness, is to know myself and to know my emotional life, my interior. Sometimes we are showing up in harshness because we have not given ourselves space and permission to feel what we actually feel. And so what is at the root of the harshness? For many people, it is fear. For many people, it is insecurity. For many people, it is shame. And so if I can get at the root of what do I really feel, if I can give myself the space to tell myself the truth about what is really going on in me when I feel the need to fight everybody all the time, when I feel the need to fight everybody all the time, what is the story that I am censoring from my own awareness? And so I invite you to really get in touch with what you feel, to get in touch with the truth, and to begin to actively and with great intention heal the inner wounds so that you are not a one-note person. A one-note person only has the capacity for harshness, right? There are times when we have to be tough, right? That is life. There will be times in your life when you have to be tough. And yet, if the toughness is your way of being 24/7, then you have been robbed of the human experience. In your humanity, there needs to be space for the fullness of emotional life. And so I choose to expand my interior, to redirect and redecorate my interior life so that I can show up with a greater range, with a greater depth, and that range includes gentleness. I want to encourage you to be patient with yourself as you are on this journey of cultivating gentleness, because you will need to deprogram and reprogram yourself against the messages you were likely taught as a child that equated gentleness with weakness or gentleness with being a victim. And I want you to know that is not the same thing, and that loudness and harshness are not always strength, that the person who talks with the most poison in their voice is not necessarily the strongest person in the room. And so when we recognize emotional strength and spiritual strength has a gentleness to it, then we can rewrite the script that we have been given and the script that we have been following. And we know that it takes time for transformation to really take root and to grow wings. And so to be patient with yourself when sometimes you find yourself being reactive, to go back and look at it and say, what was going on with me? Why did I react in that way? And what is the lesson I can pull from this so that I do not continue repeating this pattern and going back to my familiar ways, which are really unhealthy and are limited. And as I want to be more gentle, I want to make some decisions about the ways in which I show up with intention. And so along with my sacred pause and getting clear about my identity and my feelings, there is also the gift of breath. That when I am responding in harshness, there is not a lot of breath in my body or in my spirit. Often I have gone into holding my breath and being in such a place of disconnection from myself and from those who are around me. And so with gentleness, there is breath. And so when you catch yourself holding your breath, as I will often see my clients doing when we get to a difficult topic, as I know from my own life experience, I have done in the past when I experience stress, there is a sense of shallow breathing that keeps us hardened. And so when you feel that panic, when you feel that defensiveness, give yourself space to breathe before you speak, to breathe before you storm off, to breathe before you pick up anything, to breathe before you respond. Not only that, to be gentle is to care. That I care about other people and I care about myself. And so my response is based in a care, based in a compassion about the ways in which my words land, the ways in which my actions land. I care about the impact that I have on myself and the impact that I have on others. And so life may have left you in a place where you don't care about anything or anyone, including yourself. And so a part of your healing will be getting back to the place where you can actually care. And when I am shaping my life from caring, compassion, then the gentleness will come. Then the gentleness will come in my parenting. The gentleness will come in my partnering. The gentleness will come in my workplace environment. The gentleness will come in my friendships. The gentleness will come in the way I pace and organize my own life because I care. And so I hope on today you will give yourself permission to shift out of the hardness and harshness of your past and to be deliberate about getting to a place of gentleness. And as we look at the necessity and the goodness of being more gentle with ourselves, it is important to be mindful of the ways in which we allow ourselves to look deeper, for us to look beyond the surface. Often when I am responding with a harshness or a hardness, it is based on what I am seeing on the surface of things. But when you develop your insight, when you develop a deeper awareness, when you develop your inner knowing and wisdom, then you begin to see beyond the surface of things, beyond the superficial, beyond the appearance of things, so that you can see the heart of the matter, the root of the matter, in terms of what is before you. And when I am responding on the surface of things, then I am easily wanting to battle people. I am easily provoked because you looked at me like this, or because you said this to me that I don't like and that I took offense to. And so now I must bring out the full arsenal of what I carry. And instead, if I look under the hood, if I look deep within the soil, then I have a deeper understanding. I have a depth of understanding of what is at play, right? And based on what I see emotionally and spiritually, I can respond with more gentleness instead of just being caught up in the appearance of things. And so I invite you to look again at other people and the ways in which they show up, and also to look again at yourself so that you can adopt the radical, revolutionary gift and spirit of gentleness that our society and environment can lead us to believe that we must always operate in hostility and harshness. And so it is a revolutionary decision to, in the midst of all that is happening in the world, to hold on to my gentleness, which is to hold on to me. To hold on to my gentleness is to hold on to me. And as we are engaging in this way, we will be able to see our growth. We will be able to be more loving. We will be able to sustain relationships. And so that will also make us better listeners. When I am hard and harsh, I have already made up my mind. I have already decided what you think, and there's nothing you can say or do that will allow me to adapt the script that I have already written for you and for everyone else. But when I adopt gentleness, it opens me up to actually be able to hear. And so we want to be mindful about our decisions to listen versus to shut down. When I am hardened, I am shut down. When I am alive, there is some openness there. When I am alive and open to growth, then I have the capacity to take in new information. When I am gentle, I am flexible. And when I am flexible, there is no limit to the ways in which I can grow, the ways in which I can develop, because I am not stuck. I am not shut down. I am not closed off. And there is so much possible, so much more that is possible for each of us if we would lean into the gentleness of our own growth journey. If we would lean into the gentleness of our own growth journey. I invite your soul to tell your heart, mind, body, and spirit, welcome home.